Okay, so good afternoon. So as we know that the schools are there for society. So their relevance is proven by their ability to address socio-cultural problems. So what are these social issues or problems that schools should help to address? So please comment pala if you are watching your name. So we have a number of them, but let's focus on the weaknesses of the Filipino character because the strengths of the Filipino character will also be cited for a balanced presentation. And besides, schools can capitalize on the strengths of the Filipino character to eliminate the weaknesses. So the focus is we wanted to eradicate or to remove these weaknesses of Filipinos. So there is a research or excerpt from the report of the Moral Recovery Program, Building a People or Building a Nation, which is by the task force of the President Aquino and the members of the Senate, which is Senator Leticia Shahani. So let us now proceed to this strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino character. These are the social issues. Okay, so there are different social cultural problems, but the main focus is the weaknesses of the Filipino character. We can discover a strengths through our weaknesses. So one is the extreme family centeredness. This is more on the excessive concern for family means using one's office and power to promote family interests and thus functionalism, patronage, political dynasties, and the protection of erring family members. So, katatapos pa lang ng eleksyon, ano? So, makikita natin na talagang marami ang political dynasties and meron tayong iba-ibang naging issue, especially sa nakaraang election. Another is the extreme personalism. What is this? The extreme personalism talks about mm, take things personally, cannot separate object task from emotional involvement. This can lead to graft and corruption evident in Philippine society. Okay. Take things personally, cannot separate object task from emotional involvement. This can lead to graft and corruption evident in Philippine society. Okay, try nyo nang mag-comment. Let us, try to comment. Try to comment. Okay, so ito yung extreme personalism. It takes things personally, cannot separate objective task from emotional involvement. This can lead to graft and corruption evident in Philippine society. Yan. So, common din po ito sa ating bansa. Ano po? So, ganun pa rin. Naging madugo, naging ano po yung ating election because of this extreme personalism. Okay. Next is lack of discipline. Yan. We are very much ano po this one that a casual attitude so another one is a casual attitude toward time and space manifested in lack of precision and compulsiveness in poor time management and procrastination. So commonly, ang nagiging problema dito is yung cramming, yung time management. Mababa yung pag-manage ng oras. then it will result in lack of standardization and equality control, impatient results in shortcuts, maraming palusot, ningaskugon, and the lack of discipline often results to inefficient work systems, the violation of rules, and a casual work ethic lacking follow through. Okay, so that is another, no, the lack of discipline. Another one is passivity and lack of initiative. Okay, ano yung nagiging problema naman dito? Waiting to be told what to do, reliance on others. So, kung may nakakapanood sa kagagawa, kung wala, wala na, hindi niya nasisipagan, hindi na siya gagawa dahil nakadepende lang siya sa taong nakaobserba sa kanya. Okay. So, next is the positivity and lack of initiative is marami ang complacence, lack of sense of urgency, no? Gagalaw kung kailan kailangan maraming nakakapanood. There is high tolerance of inefficiency, then poor service and even violations of one's basic right. Okay, so yan ang lack of initiative. Next is, yan, maraming taong ganito. Yung ating colonial mentality that we are lack of patriotism or of an active awareness, appreciation, and love of the Philippines and an actual preference for thing foreign. Yan. So, marami ang nagpapatronize ng other products than patronizing our own. Okay, so marami po ang may ugaling ganito, no? So, another is the kanya-kanya syndrome, talangka mentality. It is done by chismis. Yan, nauuso ngayon yung marites, yung pagiging marites, intriga, and constructive criticism. This results in the dampening of cooperative and community spirit and the tampering upon others' rights. Okay. So, marami ang nakakasagasa. Yung parang ang iniisip lang ay yung kanilang sarili. Ang iniisip ay hindi nila iniisip yung ibang tao. Okay. So, another is the lack of self-analysis and self-reflection, the tendency to be superficial and somewhat flightly in the days of serious personal or social problems. There is lack of analysis or reflection. Hindi niya tinatanong yung kanyang sarili, hindi niya alam kung tama ba ang kanyang ginagawa, 'di ba? Then instead satisfaction and superficial explanations and solutions. So better to have self-analysis and self-reflection. So another is the emphasis on forma rather than substance. This lack of analysis and emphasis on form is reinforced by an educational system that is more than the substance. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko noon na marami ang nagsusubmit ng requirements ng project na ginagandahan yung portfolio, ginagandahan yung style, yung design. Pero yung laman, hindi pinag-iisipan ng maayos. So, marami ang may ugaling ganyan. Parang mas gusto niyo lang yung attractive tingnan, colorful, maraming design, pero they never think of the quality or the content, no? So, it is more on the substance over the forma supposedly. So next is the weaknesses are rooted in many factors. It, it is from the home, the social, economic environment, culture, and language. Okay. And history. Ang lahat ng kahinaang ito ay nagmula minsan sa bahay, sa pakikipagkapwa, sa economic environment, sa culture and language, and to our history. Educational system, we learned also based on the mass media, no? Okay, so next is the leadership and role models. Yan. So these are the different weaknesses of Filipinos. And next is, what are the following goals proposed to develop in the Filipino? So, balikan ko yung mga factors muna. Kung ay yung bakit sa bahay, yan. Marami din silang natututunan na mali sa bahay, sa pakikipagkaibigan, in friendship, and in our environment, di ba? And this time, marami na rin nagbago when it comes to the language. Okay? So, we'll learn a lot. Meron ng mga pagmumura, meron ng ibang mga reasons na talagang masasabi mong may malaking pagbabago. And yung history, then religion, ang ating mga paniniwala, with our faith and with our, ano po, yung pananampalataya natin. Yung sa educational system din natin, malaki na rin ang pinagbago. The mass media, yung napapanood natin sa television, yung napapanood natin sa social media. So there is a big impact nowadays. Ano po? Then yung leadership, the leadership and yung role models. So what are the following goals that propose to develop in the Filipino? We wanted to develop a sense of patriotism and national pride. Yan, dapat we are very much ano po, happy with the product of our country, with the product of the Philippines. The next is a sense of the common good, yung magitayong maayos, a sense of integrity and accountability. So as a Filipino, we must be ano po, in our integrity, and we must be accountable in all aspects, in, especially with our actions and with our behavior. The values of habits and discipline and hard work. No? So it is very important. Now we must be and then of the discipline and hard work. We must work. Kaya yung nasa murang edad pa lang, tinuturuan na sa field of work para maging maayos na rin siya sa kanyang paglaki. And the value and habits of self-reflection and analysis. Okay, so how they will, ano din their self-reflection. So these are based on the report of the Moral Recovery Program in building a people, building a nation. Okay, so these are now the strengths of the Filipino character. So first is yung pakikipagkapwa-tao, 'di ba? We are very much ano po diyan, happy and proud na mga magagaling tayo makipagkapwa-tao, na talagang matitibay tayo sa pakikipagkapwa-tao. We welcome them with yung pagiging nating hospitable, 'di ba? And we are friendly, ano, kahit hindi man natin masyadong kakilala, basta ngumiti sa atin, we are also smiling to them. Another one na strength ng Filipino is we are family-oriented. Whatever may happen, we are very close. Whatever may happen, we also have harmonious relationship with the family members. Diba? So yan po. Then another one is the joy and humor. Diba? Sa Pilipinas, tayo ay mayroong mga kakaiba-ibang kasiyahan, masyadong napapatrend, masyadong napapaano po sa mga social media. May mga pagkakataon din na nati-trend sa iba-ibang social networking sites because talagang tunay na masiyahin ang Pilipino. Flexibility, we are very flexible, adaptable, and creative. So we notice this. Marami, especially napatunayan to ng mga Filipino, joining in a pageant, joining in the sports, joining in other competitions, not only in the Philippines but all throughout the world. Okay? And Filipinos are hardworking in industry. So we are hardworking. Ano po, alam nyo naman yan. Faith and religiosity. Okay. So we are very much guided. We are very much religious. We have the strong faith in God and able to survive. It only means na we are doing something na yung going to school is one way of surviving. Why? Kasi soon is kikita na rin kayo niyan. Kasi yung paghahanap nyo ng trabaho, yung ano nyo sarili nyo, di ba? So what are the value education in school? The Department of Education has its own vision to develop Filipino who passionately love their country and whose values and competencies enable them to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to the building the nation. So what is this? This is the DepEd vision. This is the dream of the Department of Education. Dapat daw we must passionately love our country and our values and competencies are enabled to realize their full potential. So our core values, nakikita nyo naman to sa mga schools, yung maka-Diyos, makatao, makakalikasan, at makabansa. Okay. So the core values can be uphill battle for Filipino school to realize these considerings. So, itong core values na to, ito yung pwedeng lumaban sa extreme family-centeredness, extreme personalism, lack of discipline. Ano yung nahalata natin dito? These are the weaknesses. Ano po? Passively and lack of initiative, colonial mentality, kanya-kanya syndrome, lack of self-analysis and self-reflection. Kumbaga, marami sa Filipinos na mataas yung tingin sa sarili, hindi man lamang nagre-reflect, hindi man lamang nag-a-analyze kung ano ba talaga sila. And another one is emphasis on former rather than substance. So the Philippine schools have to intensify values education in curriculum. In fact, the K to 12 is the response of this report in values education na dekaryon sa pagpapakatao or edukasyon pala, edukasyon sa pagpapakatao in K-12 curriculum was introduced as a separate subject in the program of Dr. Lourdes Crisimbing, the Department of Education, Culture and Sports Secretary. So these are the ano po of the program of the Department of Education. So this time I am going to send in our group chat the activities para po alam ninyo ay yung sasagutan niyo po regarding the ano po, okay? Sige. So see you po sa group chat. I will send the group activity.